Let's talk about now one of the big things that happened when I was actually on my vacation. This was a big deal, okay? So if you didn't already see the news, okay, I'm looking at it on IGN right now because they wrote about it. There was no like press release or anything that came up, but IGN themselves wrote about this and then it got posted all over the place afterwards. So IGN acquired the Gamer Network, which included different websites, including Eurogamer, GameIndustry.biz, VG247, Rock Paper Shotgun, and a couple others, including also Digital Foundry. Now, with the biggest thing that people were up in arms about is that they were worried that Digital Foundry was actually going to be affected by this in a pretty big way. Okay, the other websites and outlets that were included in here also includes Outside Xbox and Hookshot. Okay, which operates like Nintendo Live, Push Square, Pure Xbox, Time Extension, etc. Okay, that being said, not much is really going on with Digital Foundry. They do have shares or do have like a portion of Digital Foundry that they own, but the majority of that is owned by the guys that run Digital Foundry, that do the videos on there. They're pretty much, the guys that are still going to be in control of what's going on with Digital Foundry. So I don't think there's much to be worried about with it. But outside of that, however, okay, I will say this is a big deal because it's IGN gobbling up other websites, which they've been doing for a long time. I've seen other podcast shows, and more specifically Sacred Symbols, where they talked about it a little bit. And they mentioned, like, yeah, this is like nothing new. Like it was been happening for like the longest time. They did this to 1UP. They did this to Game Trailers, I believe, as well, and other websites over time. So this type of thing is nothing new. It's a business move. What I do want to touch on and I do want to talk about is some of this notion that some of these places outside of Sacred Symbols, but other podcasts and other places have mentioned that this is IGN gobbling up their competition. Now, you got to understand, this is a very complex, very layered discussion because IGN's competition, even though one would assume, rightfully so, that all these gaming outlets that cover video games and the games industry are IGN's competition, it's not necessarily the case because of how big IGN is. IGN is massive, and it's one of those first like Web 1.0 websites that has really lasted a very long time. It's one of the original ones from back in the day that everybody knows, because if you're into gaming, if you know anything about video games, the hobby, the industry, or anything else, chances are you know about IGN. Even if you don't frequent the website, you know about them. That's how big of a brand they are. With that being said, really the competition that IGN has, and when they do stuff like this, okay, they're really more in competition with other major outlets, especially major news outlets like CNN, for example. To me, I feel like a CNN would probably be like more of the equivalent of like what type of competition we're looking at for an outlet like IGN, because IGN is the biggest outlet when it comes to entertainment stuff. So you see other news outlets that cover multiple different things, maybe not necessarily world news and politics, at IGN, but even though those outlets cover that stuff, they're still as big, if not bigger, than IGN. So that's more where the competition is at. So doing something like this, business-wise, even though I agree with some of the places and some of the people that have been talking about this, saying that this is bad for the industry, this isn't like the greatest thing that should be happening, I do admit, I agree this is a very confusing move for IGN because I didn't think it was necessary. I definitely did not expect this. I saw a couple of people on social media saying that they expected this to happen. They're lying. They're totally full of nonsense. Nobody expected this. Nobody talked about this. All the stuff that came out afterwards about how there was a heads up to the people that were in those websites that there was a sale happening, those were probably the only people that knew about it, like in a very short time frame. And then obviously the layoffs happened, which is a whole nother aspect that's part of what's been going on with the games industry the last couple of months. That's pretty rough. It's a sad reality and a sad truth that we all have to deal with. There was a lot of redundancies according to some of the places that did report on this. I do have to say, I can actually pull it up here. I'll be able to show you guys. There was a couple places that were, talking about this, that said that a lot of the people that were getting laid off were redundancies there, mostly with talent. Okay, so I'm going to go to the gamesindustry.biz. And I know I saw in a few other places, there you go, the Gamer Network and everything else. There was a lot of places that did mention the different layoffs and stuff. I'm trying to find one that probably like actually covered it. I think, yeah, here we go. This one mentions the layoffs. This is Men's Journal. It's random, but yeah, there was a lot of different layoffs with it. The new layoffs come from posts made on social media. IGN Entertainment and parent company said that only the deal's closure will involve layoffs and didn't say how many or who specifically would be affected. I know I can say, and I could confirm from people that I've seen talk on social media, people that I know personally have been laid off at places like GamesIndustry.biz, Eurogamer, and many others that were acquired within this acquisition. And it sucks because nobody likes to see others get laid off. Nobody likes to see other people lose their jobs. It's just an unfortunate side effect. Excuse me. An unfortunate side effect. I'm getting dry mouth here because I'm talking so much. But it's an unfortunate side effect from business moves that happen like this. And people don't like it. I definitely don't think it's the best thing ever, but it is part of it. And I think that the entity of Ziff Davis and IGN don't really care too much about the feelings of other people online on social media. They're going to do what they do. They're going to do what they do as a big business, as far as being a major outlet that's trying to grow and trying to change up and do things for their own business model. And all the opinions of everybody else is kind of irrelevant at this point. And it sucks for some of us on the outside looking in, but it is what it is. That's like the best thing that anybody could say. Do I think that this is going to be the end of it? No. I think there's going to be other stuff that comes out. I think there's also going to be other layoffs at some point that is going to be still a lot of people are going to complain about on social media. But again, as much as we don't like seeing that stuff, it's going to happen. It's just a fact of life when it comes to being part of this industry, let alone any other industry. So there's not much else to say about it. Again, even looking at the IGN post about it, like there really just, again, isn't much else to really harp on as far as what's been going on with IGN themselves, and also more than likely what's going to be the fallout from this stuff. So let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section, again, about all the stuff involving IGN acquiring all these different websites. Did you go to any of these websites? Again, let me list them off. Eurogamer, GamesIndustry.biz, Rock Paper Shotgun, VG247, Dicebreaker, that's another one I didn't read, Outside Xbox, Hookshot, Nintendo Life, Push Square, Pure Xbox, Time Extension, and again, also Digital Foundry, but they're not really changing much with that. But all those other different websites that I mentioned, did you get a chance to go frequent those websites, or were you actually visiting them for your gaming news and other stuff related to gaming content on a regular basis? Tell me your thoughts about that down below in the comment section, and also your thoughts on whether this is a good thing or a bad thing for the industry. I'm pretty sure a lot of people are going to be very divided, or some people are going to lean more towards it being a bad thing for the industry. But like I said,